Welcome to News Now, Alberta. This is Special Ed. Today we're looking at RCMP attacking free press. RCMP and freedom of press have always been butting heads, but this time they went too far. Breaking into the home of an Edmonton journalist with an axe and chainsaw to arrest her because she was covering the pipeline protest in BC. Her and her cameraman were both arrested. This is sad.
I cannot overstate the tension of the moment when militarized police and tactical equipment came through the door with an axe and then a chainsaw, and the intensity of the sounds, the absolute fear of having a weapon pointed through the door and not knowing if you were at risk for your life.
Edmonton freelance journalist Bracken remembers the day she was arrested by RCMP covering pipeline protests in November of 2021 in northern British Columbia. Her arrest sparked outrage across the country from free press advocates. Bracken, along with the outlet she was working for at the time, the Narwhal, have launched a lawsuit against RCMP for wrongful arrest and charter rights violations.
We're looking for real consequences for police officers that interfere with journalists working, and we are looking for a real conversation about the potential to formally protect the rights of journalists independently in charter rights.
Bracken tells me while the legal process will be long and expensive, a conversation about the rights of the press need to be had at a time when hostilities towards media have been at an all-time high.
If we don't have access to good information as Canadians and first-person independent witnessing of events, we can't make good decisions, we can't make good policy, and we can't move forward. So freedom of the press is under attack in our day and age, and we need to recenter and ask ourselves as Canadians if that's a value that we want to see diminished.
I reached out to BC RCMP for comment. In an email, they tell me they cannot comment on the case but are aware of the claim and will issue a statement of defense through the courts. Reporting from Edmonton, Darcy Ropchan, City News.
A response filed with the BC Supreme Court last week alleged Bracken was not engaged in apparent good faith news gathering activities and was instead aiding and abetting those opposed to the project ahead of her arrest in November 2021, to cover their butts. RCMP really don't like when people film them being violent and violating people's rights. Amber was arrested but later released with a promise not to go back to the site. If she was really aiding them, she would have stayed in jail for as long as the protesters. The lawsuit is not yet settled, as I can see, but the charges against her and her cameraman were dropped. I hope she gets a substantial amount, not just for the money, but as a principle that freedom of press is important in Canada. The RCMP violated Section 2, subsection B of the Charter of Right, not to mention Section 7 and 8, and probably more. This cannot go unpunished, even if the RCMP who arrested her were. What do you think of this attack? Let me know in the comments. Check me out on Patreon starting at $1 a month and get the videos a week in advance and other perks coming. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.